Hello and welcome. It is the 6th of November 2025 already. I was walking my meditation this morning and something different has come through. And the Buddha came to mind, but then a female figure came to mind, or being or goddess, okay. And I realised that I actually had one of my decks at home. I have an image or a representation of her energy, and it is actually green Tara, okay, which is really beautiful. We're going to do some oracle on her. I felt so, I almost felt like I was going to do a channeling, but I think the way this is, my channel is going to go is I'm going to do like a tarot oracle reading on the energy that comes through, and then maybe the following day I'll do a channeling or something like that. Just to help to sort of get into the energy. But I think what's going to come through on the cards is going to be some of the messages that she's wanting to impart to us. I did a little bit of background research. So there have been, reports, or people have said, ancient bodhisattvas, Buddhas. So they have said that she was like a mortal, an ordinary person just like us, and that she attained Buddhahood. So she is actually a fully enlightened female Buddha, okay? And I think several of the schools of Buddhism use her in meditations for visualization and things like that. So she's fairly well known. And yeah, I haven't really kind of had much to do with her until now. But she's really nature connected. Also this idea about compassionate action. So she's really, it's and when I read the description on, Kyle Gray's book, very much an energy of helping us to move into our spiritual selves and to be inspired with that as well. But let's look, and also, like I said, very connected to nature and animals, and so this is going to be a really beautiful energy, perhaps for us to meditate with, or upon, or to call upon this beautiful divine feminine energy. I just feel really grateful for her energy coming through right now. So I was guided, I was like, let's do a green Tara reading. So Sacred Forest Oracle is the first one. So let's see what energies. She's also had other incarnations. Did I say that? So let's just see. I'll just grab a beautiful Sacred Forest Storm Spirit. Oh, Chaos. Okay. So this could be that in my research I have come across this idea as well, that she is very swift in terms of helping people in trouble and through challenges. Okay. So if you are experiencing a lot of confusion and a lot of challenge and difficulty in your life at the moment, just really meditating on green Tara energy could be something that will really help you. If this is, sometimes there are good things that come out of chaos because we get to reorganize everything in a better way. But if you're experiencing the more challenging aspect of it at the moment, that could be something to, green Tara could be an energy that you might want to call upon. Let's go with the Whispers of the Ocean. I'll just grab a card here. Sorry I haven't pre-shuffled these. It's a bit spontaneous, but here we go. Okay. Blend into the environment. You have many skills and can fit into any situation. Take time to assess what is going on around you and adapt accordingly. So one of these aspects of green Tara is that she's one of these energies that are going to help us to activate insight, intuition, in terms of knowing where to place ourselves and how we're going to best be of service and compassionate and helping others, and being able to kind of integrate our wisdom and our insight into our daily lives, which is kind of what this is saying. It's about blending, but not, of course, allowing the environment to overwhelm you. It's about navigating through and finding a little place or a niche where you feel that you can, be of assistance. And it's saying to, just take time to, if there's a lot going on, if there's a lot of chaos going on, just sort of sit back, maybe write some notes and just go, okay, this is all the stuff that's going on, okay? And to just kind of be as objective about it as possible, I suppose. The thing about Buddha, of course, is that idea of mindfulness. So I think Green Tara also brings that energy of just if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, try to identify the emotion, but then accept it as an experience, that the emotion is not defining you. Okay, that's it's something that the mind is engaging in. It's not your soul necessarily that's doing that, because your soul is pure. Okay, it is calm, peaceful, in a state of love and oneness at all times. But it's our personalities and our minds that can, become involved in things that can sort of distract us from our center. Okay. So this is kind of a little bit like, that idea of being in the world but not being so attached to it that it overcomes you. Okay, I think that's a nice, helpful message from Green Tara there. She's very much about, practicality, inspired action, and I think integrating the spiritual as well. So, and this idea of protection too. She protects people as they move into their spiritual way of life, or integrating the spiritual aspect into daily life more. This is the beautiful Spirit Animal Oracle. Actually, the other message here too is that, you have many skills. Okay, so it might be also about acknowledging all your skills, talents, abilities, and things that you are good at. Okay, that could be a big part of that. Let's take a look at the big picture. Write in all your talents and abilities in there as well. Here we are. Sing your own song. Isn't that gorgeous? Birds are a very higher consciousness animals. In the park where I live, I went for my walk this morning, and we have these little birds that if you walk through a park, they sort of fly around you in a big circle, which is kind of awesome. And I kind of, every time that happens, I kind of feel like they're clearing my energy field and lifting my frequency. So if you can, even hang out with birds or look at birds and meditate on them, that's a really nice energy as well. But this idea about singing your own song. So Green Tara is she's also protective. So if you're wanting to be do something unique, innovative, singing your own song, so to speak, doing your own thing, she will help you with that. But in the spirit of integration and, of course, balance, mindfulness, and perhaps even using it to help other people in some way, or to help the environment or animals or anything like that. Okay, so bringing about peace, harmony, and balance by singing your own song. So that's really gorgeous as well. Last deck of the oracles we're going to look at here is the Dolphin Heart Oracle. So yeah, I'll leave these oracle cards out here, and we will look at the tarot in a moment. Okay, this one says low tide. So this could be about, almost the opposite of the storm chaos, isn't it? Okay, this is about, the maelstrom, so to speak, this one. This is about, taking it easy, slowing down, and really this idea of ebb and flow. And the interesting thing is, what's coming into my mind right now is that when I was doing my research on Green Tara, she's often depicted with, in the like a Buddha seated pose, with one leg sort of out, one foot pointing outward, and the other one sort of pointing in towards her, which is representative of this idea of action is the outward foot. Okay, so she's taking action, but she's also taking time to meditate, to be still, to go into this low tide energy, to just relax, rejuvenate, and to, take sacred refuge, for her soul. Okay. And this is what I think part of the message too is about. If we're going to blend into the environment effectively, it's not that we are having to really give up ourselves 24/7. Okay. It's that we need to balance that out. Because we might be dealing with quite some chaotic situations and experiences, but we really need to remember that we're here to also sing our own song, to be our true selves, and that we need to pull back in, to just come into stillness, calm, to slow the mind right down. I had this exact experience today. I've been working quite a bit and getting more involved in my workspace. And then I could sort of sense this, nervous, restless type of energy kind of rising up. And I don't know if many of you experienced that. And I was also having a bit too much coffee as well, so I've cut back on coffee a bit. But and I think part of the 3i Atlas energy too is that we're going to be able to really create better balance. So we're going to be more aware of when we need to really bring it down, focus on the breath, even just do some simple stretches, whatever you need to do to focus in on the breath, and to take some sacred time out for yourself to just realign and get in touch with your spiritual self, which, Green Tara is all about compassionate action and being of service and assistance to others, but she's also about, equally, this idea of, taking refuge, just laying low whenever you need to, okay, that term, to just sort of take some rest. Let's grab the tarot now and see how this is. We have been talking about practical implications, but I just want to, we may even just do a full reading. Okay, so Green Tara, let's just see what's, and this is sort of also a bit similar to some of the 3i Atlas energies that are coming through. It's about really kind of tuning into ourselves more. But I think Green Tara is saying, in the practical realm, in daily life, it's about putting that into practice. Okay. I just want something to jump out here for the center. Okay. Wow. Hanged Man. Yeah, this is about surrender. Okay. And he is actually enlightened here. So it's about surrendering to our natural spiritual process of surrendering to what we really feel that we need is going to be good for us. Okay. If you feel like you're, running the treadmill like a hamster in a cage, and you feel that that's not comfortable, that it's really, about you working out for yourself what you need, okay? Yeah, because we're dealing with a lot of stresses, okay? Many of us are stressed, and that could be what's sort of hindering this process. Okay, let's see. This is going to be an interesting reading. Wow, temperance, moderation and balance, which is what we have been talking about. This is almost like the higher self, and it's that subconscious undercurrent. So this is the energy that is wanting to be made manifest generally for us. Okay, which is bang on in line with what the Green Tara's energy is about. Okay. Yep, and here we have this creative Three of Pentacles. We have, we have the ability to both to learn, but also to teach. So many of us have skills that we can share with others, but we also have this thing that, there's still things that we can learn about ourselves and about our world in general. Okay, and things have certainly been changing a lot in recent times. So at the moment, it might feel like, we are kind of, maybe we're fighting a battle, but we're also in this process of creating boundaries. Like we're going, okay, I'm not going to be doing A and B after X time in the day. Or, this 2 hours of the week I'm taking out to do whatever. It's really about, standing our ground and also being individual. This guy here is sort of like, he's not wearing both shoes, but it's about, singing your own song and just, realizing that we have the right to do that. And of course, maybe there's this aspect of that in the future, there might be some things that we are really familiar with and we are used to doing things in a certain way, and to have to stop doing them in a certain way can be a little bit disconcerting. Maybe it can be, a bit disappointing. But let's have a look. We'll keep going. Page of Pentacles. So there's optimism, and there's a new project on the horizon for us. I might clarify some of these in a moment. We have the 10 of Swords. So this could be energies around you that are really kind of, in terms of the mental realm, it could be like a lot of confusion, a lot of people, I guess getting fed up with things, okay? But the swords also can sort of symbolize those sort of forces of reality in the conscious mind. So it's about a lot of thoughts going around, a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of exhaustion, okay? So you might be feeling that from those energies that are around you. And here we have the Tower. So something is going to give, okay? Something is going to come back down to earth. There's going to be a realization of sorts, okay? And this could be to do with, even in the cosmic realm, with everything with 3i Atlas that's going on as well. There's going to be some, some revelations, realizations, and insights. And maybe there could be some anxiety about that too for some of us. But here we have the beautiful King of Cups to finish. This is really beautiful because, remember we talked about the chaos here. This King of Cups is able to maintain this calm centeredness despite chaos that's going on around. So this is about emotional mastery. And Temperance with this is just spot on, because this is a balanced approach. It's also about being grounded, being spirit connected, and being in harmony as well. But we have, this is, us, humanity, coming into our emotional mastery and emotional sovereignty. And we have none other than the Magician underneath. So this is about us fulfilling our potential, accessing all those resources, finding out what it is, what our own song is, so that we can sing it or be it or do whatever. This is a metaphor for any activity, skill or talent that you feel drawn to, that you're wanting to do, okay? And your inner magician is here to help with that. I'm going to grab the Dragon Tarot now to just clarify a couple of things. Let's just grab a dragon for the center here. So this is the, we have the stresses that are sort of maybe hindering us from our enlightenment, yet our inner drive is to really move towards better balance. And Green Tarot is certainly going to help us with that if we call upon her energies. Okay, so just one for the center. How are we going for time? It's interesting. Okay, now I can see it. I have to move my white card. Okay, let's just grab a card for the center. And we have the Page of Cups. So yeah, this could be about bringing in some new emotional energy. Okay, and it's about paying attention to your emotions, being aware of your emotions. This is Swords, which just talks about, often represents thoughts. But are there feelings going along with that? And maybe it's time to treat yourself to some really nice things that are going to make you feel better. So this is to do with emotional mastery, of knowing what we need to do, what we need to give ourselves, There are many things that we can do to shift our emotional frequency, or to literally, it's a little bit like, cheering ourselves up, or refocusing our attention to something. And also in that process, sort of accepting that a snowballing of thoughts is just the mind running. It's not your inner core. Okay. Let's grab a clarification for Five of Cups. Even though, at times it might feel like, it is your inner core. That our core essence is basically this. Okay. That's my belief anyway. Everyone has different beliefs. Sorry, I just want to jump out for the Five of Cups. This is that energy of perhaps, disappointment, disillusionment, and that a number of change as well. The 5, sorry, there was too many that jumped out there. The number 5, change, looking forward. Okay, we have one here. The hanged dragon this time. So this is about that process of change that we were talking about, that, sometimes when we go through changes in life, it can feel like all of a sudden we reorient our values and things kind of do a little bit of a flip. So what we thought was important, a few weeks or a few months ago, now doesn't seem as important, and maybe our values are going to shift. And that could be what this is sort of representing, this struggle with the shifting of values, because once again the Hanged Man has appeared, which is kind of confirmation of, yes, it's change, but it's change for the better. Okay. Let's clarify the 10 of Swords. Okay, we had one fall on the floor here. 10 of Swords is clarified by the 3 of Cups. So this was that energy of exhaustion, okay, and a lot of confusion going on around. And this is like saying, well, let's simplify things, okay, let's go. And once again, it's about the emotions, okay. I think for many of us, there's a very strong, there's always a strong connection between thoughts and feelings, okay. But part of our mastery is about learning the difference. So being able to go, okay, I'm feeling a certain way. Are there particular thoughts that are contributing to that feeling, and maybe doing some journaling on that. This is sort of saying, this is the 3 of Cups, a very joyful, playful, happy energy. So it's sort of suggesting that, it's almost the opposite to this, isn't it? But once again, we had almost the remedy card for the 9 of Swords was the Page of Cups, and now we have the 3 of Cups for the 10 of Swords. It's about just, okay, acknowledging that thoughts, snowballing and anxiety, looking at that and then being aware of it, acknowledging it, perhaps unpacking it, putting it to the side, and then just engaging in something that is going to, associating with others of like mind that you can sort of feel happy with. Or, if you don't have a lot of, friends or people that you can create this feeling with, really go into this idea of, is there something you can do that makes you feel like in your inner self that you are singing your song, okay? And it might help you to create this feeling. Okay, so, and it might even be that maybe you are contacting, your spirit guides. The inner magician here is very connected to spirit and earth. So, yeah, spirit and earth, and also Green Tara. Okay, that going inward to connect to spirit, but she's also about action, and sometimes that action might be directed towards ourselves. Maybe it's something we're doing for ourselves, or it might be something we're doing for others. But yeah, let's clarify that Tower now, which I felt like was a bit of a realization or an insight. Okay. Cups again. So 2 of Cups. Wow. So the Tower, there's two figures here. So this might be the divine masculine and divine feminine. Maybe there's going to be a coming down to earth of both of those energies. And here they are in harmonious communication, harmonious integration. So maybe that's what the inside is about, you know, and it can also represent this idea of our practical physical selves coming into a more authentic integration with our spiritual aspect, our soul. Okay, so this could indeed be, you know, like the soul and the body, so to speak. Okay, and this is all interesting too. We kind of have a feminine and a masculine figure. Yeah, so it's, you know, feminine and masculine body and spirit sort of coming together, because this realization of coming down to earth, this is what it's about. It's once again, it's a positive result from something that can initially feel like it's not positive, but it's going to be positive, a positive outcome. Right, I think that might be wrapped up for Green Tara. Let's just grab a fairy tarot, because sometimes these have little messages in them as well. Right. I'll just see. A fairy tarot, just a message from Green Tara. Oh, wow. This one just fell out, the Empress. That is fantastic. I'm just going to read what's underneath there. Time to take action. Oh, she literally looks like the Green Tara. Look at the green in that image. Okay, and the Empress is very earth-connected, nature-connected, very abundant as well. The power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. So success, creativity, okay, and action. And yeah, bang on. Very relevant for what is, you know, what is sort of coming forward from this Green Tara energy. Yeah, when I was thinking about the Green Tara before, the Empress did come into mind. So, you know, that is awesome. And also that number 3. So this idea of action, of activity, is represented by the number 3 as well. And creativity, of course. So divine feminine, creativity. Yeah, and I think we might wrap it up there. This is what we are moving towards. So I might do a channeling of Green Tara. So this has just given us kind of a pictorial idea of the energies, but it's very healing energies, isn't it? There's a lot of water, fluidity and flow coming in. We had all these cup remedy cards, okay, to remedy the Tower and the Sword cards. So there's a lot of, and our emotional mastery here, you know, with the King of Cups, and dealing with the chaos, learning to balance, having time out when we need it, and our beautiful, you know, our inner angelic selves coming forward as well. So yeah, I hope that's been helpful. Look forward to the next channeling or reading, whatever we're going to do. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.